Tell us about the water bug. What's the water bug?
The water bug is something that Water Defense developed based on an open cell elastomeric foam technology. Simply stated, what the water bug does, it mimics the way a human being or life encounters water. If you're a fish in the river, you're not in the water for a split second. If you're a child, a mother, man, human, animal, bathing, showering, you're not in the water for a split second. And the standards in this country are based on these split second grab samples, which are okay. And if you detect something, you know there's a problem. But if you get a non-detect, this goes back to the fundamental problem you mentioned about the standards are not updated. Well, we don't encounter the water for a split second. So why are we relying solely on testing the water for a split second? And furthermore, these standards assume that water and contamination is always in equilibrium. Well, if you're taking water samples for a split second, you're going to get varying results. Unless you have a closed loop system or literally a closed container, water is never in a steady state or in equilibrium, especially when it's contaminated or compromised. So what we did at Water Defense is we developed our own technology and our own testing based on my experience in all these disasters and what I learned. And we're trying to bring the EPA and the state agencies to the modern era and get them I mean, we're basically trying to bring when it comes to water testing, the EPA and the state agencies, to a large part, are still using rotary phones for water testing. We're trying to bring them up to, smartphones with testing, and we use the instant grab sample testing too, and we think it's important to monitor for exposure over time. And you can see that is what's going on in Flint, Michigan. Everyone's you need to see what these people are being exposed to every day as they are bathing and showering in water. And I have yet to be able to find anybody that can take a shower or bath for a split second.
In your opinion, right now, the water is not safe to bathe in Flint?
Well, number one, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a toxicologist, and I refer you to the reports. And everyone has to make their own decision and see their own medical doctor. I can tell you, if it were me in Flint, if I was a resident of Flint and could afford it, I would not be bathing, showering there, and probably move from my house until things got fixed. But unfortunately, the citizens in Flint probably don't have that option. And that the concerning thing is where is the state, where is the city of Flint? Any family, any human that is affected by this water, the state, the city, the EPA should be doing its job in testing for the full spectrum of chemicals on a weekly basis with an independent lab, not the state lab, but a certified independent lab. And they should be in a constant dialogue. And and then the families, they should be paying for the families' medical bills and doctors to go get expert advice.
But they're not doing that. They, as you say, consult with your doctor. Well, doctors aren't free, and the people of Flint are below the poverty line. So if you don't have free medical care, you're just going to rely on your information from the press, for free information.
Yeah, and it's really, and then again, this may be a little off subject, and I want to make a point here. Can you, all the talk, and again, irrespective of people's political stance, which is not relevant to this conversation, Democrats, Republicans, you hear everybody talking about this. If this were an ISIS attack, can you imagine if somebody or a radical person from within the United States or outside the United States poisoned a water system? What would the reaction would be a lot different, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be here. We have a poisoning of the water system. In where is Homeland Security? Homeland Security should be immediately in there and set up, like every 5 miles, they could set up big trailers and have doctors flown in, experts attending to this. If this were approached like any other disaster, or God forbid a terrorist attack compromising the water, this is the same approach. And Homeland Security, to me, means protecting the homeland. Why isn't Homeland Security involved in approaching this like they would any other attack or compromised poisoning of a community?
Well, the